Hello everyone, welcome back to another Final Girl playthrough. For this video, I have the Big Bad Wolf at Marrek Warehouse, and the app randomly chose Laurie as the Final Girl I should play. So off screen, I played Hans at the warehouse and was able to win. I played the Evomorph at the warehouse and was able to win. And I also played against the Organism at the warehouse and was able to win. But for some reason, I played against the Big Bad Wolf at least twice. And for some reason, I was just completely unable to get a win. I was playing as Ellen, and I won't spoil it, but I even got her signature item, and for some reason was still unable to win. So I'm hoping that turning on the camera will give me some better luck here, and we'll pull out a win against the Big Bad Wolf at the warehouse. I will warn that I have put Laurie's signature item into the item deck, so there may be spoilers for that in this video. If whenever I put a Final Girls item into the item deck for a playthrough, I will put in the description of the video whether or not that item shows up, assuming it's not just on the top of one of the item decks at the start. If it's on top of one of the item decks at the start, I will start the video with it face down, put out a warning, and then show the camera what the item is. So, for now, there are no spoilers. So, we have the daily huddle set up. So the killer is here, I'm here, and then we have 6 victims in the pit. And our starting event is scatter. And so I have to panic all victims. I haven't done that yet. I figured I would do this part on camera. So I'm going to start by scattering all the victims in the middle. And I'm going to roll 6 dice to move 3 of them out, and then roll 6 more dice to move the other 3 out. So here we go. So we have, as is on brand for this channel apparently, just a whole bunch of 3s and 4s, all the partial successes on the planet. So we've got a 7 for the first one. So they're going to panic over here. We have a 6 for the next one here, and then 8 for the next one. So I'll panic here. Do that again for the other 3 victims. 3 ones. So we've got 2 up here, 5, and then 9. The killer. So there's that. Now I'll roll the rest of the victims. Let's go here. 6. They go into the pit. 6. They go over here. 5. In here, and then 2 here, and finally 5 and 4 both panic out here. So stand all those back up in their new locations. And then our starting items, we have at the supply cage we have the bowling ball. It is a two-handed weapon, two-handed item. Discard during the action phase while in a rack space to deal 3 damage to an enemy in an adjacent space. So you're rolling it off the rack and then just letting gravity do the rest of the work. You have a plank in the receiving area. Place the plank token so it is touching 2 different rack spaces. These spaces are now considered adjacent, and victims panicking from either space will always move to the other. So that can help you get across the map easier. And then in the manager's office, we have a chainsaw. It's a 0 range weapon that does 3 damage, 2-handed, 2 uses. The chainsaw may not be used to modify reaction cards. When you use the chainsaw, add the end turn effect to the end of the action card result. So you can't use it twice in the same turn. And you can't use it to modify a retaliate and then end the killer's phase, because that would be silly. So that is all the setup out of the way. Immediately what I'm thinking is getting to the manager's office to get that chainsaw. Get the big bad wolf, hit it twice with the chainsaw, and then just have a super fast game. That is the hope, at least. Because I could go, since I'm right next to the receiving area, I could just like move into the receiving area, search twice, and then go to the manager's office. But the plank could be useful, but it could also just kind of do nothing. I don't need it to get around currently. So what I'm going to do is discard 2 cards to go up to 8 time. I'm going to spend 4 time on 2 sprints, 2 time on 2 close calls, and lastly, I will spend 2 time on a search. This is a little risky, since if horror goes up, I could be put into the red, and the only way to get out of it would be a focus. But I have close calls, so I'm hoping I'll be okay. So, Big Bad Wolf tracks the nearest victim, or nearest target, but they are already in a space with a victim, so we will draw a terror card. If there are no victims on the board, okay, so target the nearest victim, move, horror goes up, and then bloodlust goes up. That is basically exactly what I hoped didn't happen. So the horror is going to go up, bloodlust is going to go up, which is going to make the horror go up again and put me into the red, just like I feared. So I only get 1 die this turn. I'm going to use a focus and just roll a success because I'm good at the game. That's a 3. We're going to discard the other focus in my hand and a close call to reduce horror and spend 1 time. I am then going to sprint with 2 dice and get 2 more 3s, because that's apparently all I roll. I'm going to discard the other close call and a walk to move 2 spaces. Use 1 time. And then I'm going to walk, attempt to walk 1 space. That is a success and a partial. I don't want to get rid of the last 2 cards in my hand, so I will just move 1 space, the cost of 1 time. And I will pass the turn. With 3 time, I'll get a distraction. Everything will go back into the tableau. The wolf is going to track the space with the most victims, so that's going to be my space. And then we draw a terror card. The jaws that bite, horror goes up and bloodlust goes up again, so back into the red. Bloodlust goes up, and then we reveal the dark power. Destructive, oh, good. Destructive Roar, when revealed and once during each upkeep phase, remove from the game the top item card of the nearest item deck to the Big Bad Wolf. So, that would be the manager's office, so that chainsaw that I wanted is now gone. And then panic phase, nobody panics because nobody died, but upkeep phase, it triggers again, and we lose the next item, which is a megaphone. Does a discard face up or face down? Remove from the game the top item card. I don't actually know if I get to see it. I'll remove them face down from now on. Well, I'm gonna need a new plan. But for now, I'm gonna use a distraction, rolling 1 die, because we're in the red again. We get a success, thankfully. So reduce, increase. I'm just gonna pass the turn here. And with 7 time to spend 2 to get a sprint, I'll spend another 2 to get a search. I'll actually discard 1 card for 1 more time. Spend 2 time for 2 close calls, 2 more time for a guard. And then I can get 2 of my cards back from before, and I will get a walk and a focus. Big Bad Wolf is going to attack their space and kill one of these victims. Using Bloodlust, draw a terror card. All the better to eat you. It's going to attack twice and then recover HP for each victim killed. So these other 2 victims with me are now also dead. So Bloodlust goes up by 2 more. Horror goes up by 2, which will increase the Bloodlust again. And we must panic adjacent victims, which is just this guy. So this is just going miserably right out the gate. Another 3. They panic into the rack. Nobody panics, but next upkeep phase, next item is removed. I'll remove it face down this time. So there's only 1 item there. I'm gonna walk. No, I have 1 die. I'm going to focus, because I don't have a distraction. Get a fail. I will use a close call to reroll it. And get a success. Reduce it by 1, reduce time by 1. I have 2 dice again. Now I'm going to walk. Fail. I'm just going to lose 1 health, lose 2 time. Walk in. I'm going to use a search and then probably get a double success because I don't need it. Nope, just 1 success. Lose 1 time, and then I'll see whatever this last card is. The Hard Hat. So, place a random final health token on this card. When you reveal your final health token, you may also reveal this one, and choose 1 to resolve. This item is not considered in your backpack, but the card may be kept there. So I will grab a random final health token and put it on the hard hat. That's good, I suppose. I'll attempt to sprint again. Get a success and a partial. I'll discard weak attack and guard to make that a double. To go 3 spaces, so I'll go 1, 2, 3. 1 time. And then... Actually, I won't do that. I'll just go 2 spaces. And then I'll use the other sprint in my hand to go 2 spaces, That's another success. I will go 1, 2, and take these victims with me. 1 time. And now I will search the supply cage, getting a success. Going into the negative, but being able to take the top item card, which is going to be the bowling ball. Okay. So this will go back up to 6. I take my free cards. All the other cards will go back. The wolf will attack his space, there's no one there, and then we will draw the next terror card. Grandma, is that you? For each victim in the same space or adjacent to the big bad wolf, increase fear by 1. So we are just really fighting to stay out of the red here. That's all that happens. I will play a focus again and really hope I don't fail. That's a success. So reduce by 1, reduce by 1. And then I'll discard a card to gain 1 time, and then discard a card to gain 1 time. I'm going to pass a turn to grab 2 search cards. Also, Destructive Roar doesn't do anything during the upkeep phase this time because the closest search area to the wolf is already empty. So it's not like the closest one with items to discard, it's just whatever the closest one is, and since the closest one is already empty, nothing gets triggered. So 4 time for 2 searches, and then 3 time for a distraction. Get my free cards. Put those cards back. Wolf attacks her space, but no one's there. Terror card. Click. Loading dock A is now unlocked. So, loading dock A is unlocked, and we draw a new event. It is... You aren't going anywhere. All unlocked exit spaces are locked again. Return the locked tokens to the unlocked spaces. Remove all click terror cards from the discard and shuffle them back into the terror deck. Okay, so loading dock A is relocked, and then this terror card gets shuffled right back in. And then that... we draw another terror card. What big eyes you have! When you move into or begin your turn in the Big Bad Wolf space, discard a random action card if able. So, gets 2 more health, and that ability. Turn ends, upkeep, still don't remove an item, so I'm going to use a search. Get a double success, which is exactly what I need right now, for 1 time, and look at the 2 items in this deck. We have Odds and Ends, 3-use item. You may place a booby trap token on your space, 1 per space, during the action phase. If an enemy enters a space with a booby trap, discard the token and the enemy takes 2 damage. This is exactly the kind of item that I need right now. So I can lead... I could lead kind of like a trail to between the victims. And lead the Big Bad Wolf into each trap and do potentially 6 damage. So that's really good. And then the other item is a list of things in the... Immediately roll a die. Depending on the result, it'll choose a different search spot. Reveal all the item cards in the associated item deck, keeping their order the same, then discard this card. So I'm definitely not going to pick that one. I'm going to pick Odds and Ends. Use item. I'm going to put the list of things on the bottom. Grab little tracker tokens. I guess I still have a search in my hand, so I'll go ahead and search to see what the last item is. Get a double partial. I will discard 2 cards to see what the last item is. Two-way radio. 4-use item. I can use it to move a victim 1 space at the cost of 1 time. May not be used on the same victim more than once in a single turn. So, I think I'm going to keep the bowling ball in my hands for now. And keep that 2-way radio off to the side. Okay, I'm feeling a lot more confident with all these items now. I'm going to pass the turn, and with 4 time, I'm going to grab 2 sprints, and then grab the rest of my cards. Puts me at 9 cards in hand. Wolf attacks their space, no one's there. Draw a terror card. Click! Loading dock B is now unlocked. Hopefully it'll stay that way. So loading dock B is unlocked. Withdraw a new event. Event is Smarter Than They Look. When an exit space becomes unlocked, you may save any victims on that space, even if you are not there. Take the victim saved benefits at the start of the next action phase. Okay. Then we draw another terror card. No one's on an exit right now, so all victims adjacent to rack spaces panic, and then the killer will move and attack. We'll be safer up there. Yeah, sure you will. So, actually, the only victim adjacent to a rack space is this one. Everyone else is on a rack space, other than the people with me, but they're not adjacent to a rack space, so just one victim panics. That's a 4. So they will panic over here, and then the killer will move, attack this victim up here, increasing bloodlust, and then panicking adjacent victims, but there are no adjacent victims. Then it will attempt to discard the item of the search deck nearest to it, but it is still empty. So now I'm going to start laying my traps. I'm going to begin by walking and getting a success. Just 1 time, walk 1 space with both victims. Then it's one of these booby traps in this space. I will discard a sprint card to grab Climb and Leap from the tableau. I'm going to use a Climb, and I will get a success. So for 2 time, I can move into this rack space, taking 1 victim with me. Placing a booby trap there. I'm gonna leap first. Getting a success. At the cost of 2 time, I can jump to another rack space. So I'm going to jump here, and then I'm going to sprint and get a double success because I'm just good at the game today apparently. So 1 time, we're gonna go 1, 2. I guess I'm just going to move 2 spaces. I didn't need the double. But while I'm at it, I'm gonna use a distraction. No, I'm gonna use my last booby trap space. Use a distraction to get a success, reducing the horror, increasing time by 1, pass the turn using 1 time to grab a close call, and then all my free cards back. Hopefully I can lead the wolf a bit of a goose chase through these traps. And also use the bowling ball while I'm at it. Okay. So wolf is going to attack its space. There's no one there. Draw a card. What big ears you have. When you move into or begin your turn in the big bad wolf space, lose 1 health. So the big bad wolf has more health. This gives me a little more time to kind of prep the traps I have going on. I'm just going to walk and get a double success again. Keep getting all these doubles when I don't really need them. Go 1 here, 2. I really don't need the second movement. So I'll just move 1 for 1 time. I'll discard 1 for 1 time. I'll discard 2 more 2 time. And then I'm gonna spend 4 time on a Furious Strike and 4 time on a Retaliate. Okay, wolf goes. Still no one in their space. Draw a card. Let's open some of these boxes. You may roll a die for each unused item card that was set aside during setup. Spend 1 time for each card you choose to roll for. On a 1 through 4, do not reveal the item, it remains out of the game. On a 5 or 6, reveal and take the item. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5 items that were not revealed, or not put into item deck. Should be discarded. I'll spend 2 time to roll for 2 of them, so here's our first item. We'll see if we get it. That was a 5 or 6, so our item is the Power Drill. 0 range, gain 1 damage. You may discard the Power Drill to unlock the exit space you are in. I'll set that off to the side, and then for another time, I'll grab another item card and we'll roll for it. And this time I get a 2, so it will remain out of the game. Okay. I definitely got enough items, that's for sure. The wolf still hasn't moved. There's basically 2 turns left. Go ahead and walk. Getting a success and a partial. I think I'm gonna go ahead and discard 2 cards to make it a double. And I'll go 1, 2 for 1 time. Then I'll pass the turn, and I'll grab a distraction for 3 time. This way, these victims will save themselves when that unlocks. And I still can lure the big bad wolf into my space with this trail of booby traps. So here we go. Tarot card. What big teeth you have! If the big bad wolf attacks you and you prevented all of the damage, you lose 1 HP anyway. So that is all 3. Minor dark powers, which is absolutely terrifying. And they still have not moved. I'm gonna use a distraction. getting 2 partial successes. I'll discard 2 cards to make it a single success, remove, reduce horror, increase time. I'm just going to pass the turn. I'm going to grab a close call and a critical blow. Terror card. Here we go. It's snarled with red glowing eyes. Moves to the nearest target and then attacks. Finally! So it's going to target this one because it's the closest. So it moves in, triggers the booby trap, and takes 2 damage. So I get to remove one of these minor dark powers. I think the most debilitating one is the one that makes me discard, so I'm going to get rid of that. Then they're going to attack this victim, kill them, increase bloodlust, which will increase horror. So back to me. I'll discard a walk to grab climb. Then I'll play climb. Getting a miss and a partial. I will discard 2 cards to climb up onto this rack at the expense of 2 time. Then I'm going to use my bowling ball to deal 3 damage to the wolf, getting rid of minor power that makes me lose health if I start my turn in their space or into their space, and then deal 1 damage to the remaining one. Then I will walk, getting 2 partial successes again. I will not convert, I will just lose 1 health, lose 2 time, and move 1 space anyway. I'm going to move me and a victim into this other space with the booby trap to pass the turn, spending 2 time on a guard, getting my free cards back, all my other cards going back into the tableau. Then the wolf will go, and I believe the last 2 cards in the deck are click, main entrance is now unlocked, and draw the next terror card. So main entrance is unlocked, and then because of our smarter than you think event, these 2 victims are going to save themselves. And then I'll get the reward at the start of the next action phase. So I'm going to take move 1 space and grab an action card that costs 2 or less time. No, I'll actually heal 1, I think. So, draw the next terror card. Click, loading dock A is now unlocked, and we draw a new event, and then draw the next terror card. But there aren't any, so this gets unlocked, draw a new event. The event is the heroic best friend. Replaces the victim of your choice with the best friend. The best friend cannot be saved unless there are no other victims on the board. If you would take damage, and the best friend is in your space or an adjacent space, then they move into your space and take the damage instead. So I'm going to replace this victim over here, the best friend. And now there are no more terror cards, so the killer's turn ends, and the finale will trigger. We get Tasty Treats. When revealed, the Big Bad Wolf recovers HP for each dead victim. It's already at full HP except for the Dark Power, so the Dark Power heals, and now every turn is going to move and attack twice. Move and attack twice. So with that, going to take 4 damage from these. Oh, during the upkeep phase, I'm also going to move the power drill and the two-way radio into my hand. I'm going to go ahead and use the two-way radio. Spend 1 time to move the victim in my space up onto the raft, or the rack. No. Just kidding, I won't do that. I'm gonna move the one on the rack into my space. I'll then spend another time to move a victim into the pit. And with that, I will pass the turn, spending 2 time on a sprint, and 1 time on a close call. Now, the big bad wolf is going to move and attack twice. Because there are more victims here, it's going to move into here and attack twice. It's going to trigger the booby trap to take 2 damage and lose its 3rd minor dark power. It's then going to kill 2 victims, increasing bloodlust by 2. Then, that's going to be the end of its turn. This turn I'm going to spend 1 time to move a victim into the booby trap. Spend another time to move this victim into the pit. Two-way radio's gone. I will weak attack. Getting a double miss. I have a close call. Reduce time by 2 to reroll the dice. Getting a miss and a partial. I will discard 2 cards to make that a single success, lose 1 health, and then deal 2 damage. Now I will sprint away, getting a success and a partial. I'll take it. I will 2 spaces and lose 1 time. Then I will discard a card to gain 1 time, and I'll spend 2 time during the planning phase to get a sprint. Now it's the wolf's turn. They're going to move to the nearest target and then attack twice. They're going to move into this rack, triggering the booby trap, taking 2 damage, killing this victim, and then since bloodlust is at maximum, they heal 1 back. My turn. I'm going to sprint, getting a double miss. I will use a close call, spending 2 time to reroll, getting a partial. I will discard 2 cards to move 2 spaces at the cost of 1 time. I'm going to walk, getting a success and a partial. I will simply take the success and move 1 space at the cost of 1 time, and I will use another walk, getting another success and a partial. I will move 1 space using 1 time, and I'm going to save this victim and the best friend, which will give me the achievement for saving the best friend, which is awesome that I get to do that on camera. I also got the achievement for having 2 victims save themselves without me being in their space. I'm going to choose to gain 4 time, going back up to 5. Then I will pass the turn, grabbing a guard, a close call, and another guard. Then I'll get all my cards back. I might end up losing this game for that, but I think, in my opinion, that was worth doing for the achievement. So now the wolf is going to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to attack me twice. I'm going to use a retaliate, getting a success and a miss. I still have a close call in hand to use that to convert. That makes it a 4. I will discard 2 cards to make that a double success, to ignore all damage and then deal 2 damage back, plus 1 from my power drill. So I'll deal 3 damage, and the wolf is going to attack again. I'm going to use a guard and try to get a double success. Oops, well, that is a success. Next I'm going to use another guard to try to, because you can actually use multiple reaction cards to a single attack, so I'm going to use another guard to try to get another single success to block all 4 damage. That is a partial, unfortunately. Oh wait, that's fine, because with the single success from the guard, that blocks 2 damage, then the missed guard blocks 1 damage, so that's 3 damage blocked in total. And he's dealing 4 damage, so I will take 1 damage, going down to 1 HP, giving me adrenaline for an extra die. That's his 2 attacks. Now, back to my turn. I only have 2 cards left. I have a weak attack and a critical blow. I'm going to play the critical blow, roll 3 dice, and if we get a single success, we'll do 3 damage. And if he doesn't revive, we win the game. Unfortunately, that is a bunch of misses and partials, because I unfortunately just can't. That's all I tend to roll. I rolled all the double successes on things that I didn't need them. Also, like, he's supposed to have been discarding item cards this whole time. That's not going to matter. So it goes back to the wolf. Well, actually, well, wait, no. So on a failed critical blow, I still deal 2 damage. So I'd still deal 3 damage to him, and then I take 2 damage. So we both actually are going to die here. And then the horror is going to increase by 1. So horror increases by 1. Let's see if the wolf dies first. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Let's see. Unfortunately, the wolf revives with 3 health, which does not bode well for me, because the wolf is just going to attack me on his turn. But just for the sake of it, do we revive? We do not. It's not over. We can still reveal the hard hat final health token. And it is also blank. So unfortunately, the big bad wolf continues to just kill me at the warehouse. It could have been the other way around. If this triple health token was under my hard hat or my final girl, it would have been a win, and if either of these blanks had been under his, it would have been a win. But unfortunately, Lady Luck was not on my side this time in terms of winning. However, I did low-key throw the game just to get the 2 achievements for saving the heroic best friend and saving 2 victims without me being on their space. So it easily, I mean, already could have been a win if the wolf didn't revive. But I think it very easily could have been a win regardless if I hadn't gone out of my way to sort of save the heroic best friend at the end, because I could have used the extra hit that the heroic best friend gives me to prevent some damage. But alas, it was not meant to be this time. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will see you next time.